Yeah, now it's time to plan your Aso Ebi. Good day, everyone. You are most welcome to the channel. Today, I remain Joke Toluwani Setro, your fashion business coach. And if this is your first time of coming by this channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yes, planning of Aso Ebi. This is a follow-up video on our previous video, the trending fabrics for Asoebi. And just like we discussed in the previous video, Asoebi literally means family clothes, and it's from the Yoruba origin. So if you want to know more about that, I'll just link that video here. Yes, you're now talking of planning your Asoebi. Yes, Asoebi can actually be for different occasions, for weddings, it could be for funeral, or it could be for birthdays, it could be for political events. So now, what are the key things when you want to plan your Asoebi and you want to achieve the best of outcome? The number one thing you have to think of is the particular event in question so that you'll be able to come up with the appropriate price points for that event. And thinking of that event, you're going to think of the theme of the event. What's the event about? Like if it's a wedding, that goes a long way in the selection of the Asoebi for that event. So let's say you're thinking of that event, and will you be having multiple Asoebi? Because that's what is trending right now. Like if it's for a wedding, you're going to have the premium Asoebi that might be for the very close associates of the groom and the bride. So you have the one for the brides and the groom's family, you have for the close relatives of the couple, and you also have for friends, you have for the general public, and just like that. So they will all have different price points. So you're going to think of this event in question. So let's just take a wedding for an example, and let's say it's a Yoruba wedding, and you know the Yoruba people are always elaborate on parties, so they could go all the way out. And it also depends on the class of the celebrants. So the class of the celebrants is going to be telling you, okay, this is from the high class, the fabrics that will be chosen will actually speak luxury, or this is the middle class. And most times, once you have multiple fabrics, they go all into all the categories. So you have the premium fabrics and you have the one for everybody, for the masses. So you come up with a fabric that has a price point that is acceptable by all in the various category if it's for multiple Asoebi. Because if you come up with Asoebi that people can't afford, then there's going to be a lot of losses on behalf of that person, maybe the bride or whoever is planning the Asoebi. And now we have lots of Asoebi planners. You could just take that stress off your neck if you're planning an event. So you think of the theme of the occasion, and you think of the colors of the occasion. So important, because what Asoebi is for is actually for the pictures to actually come out in a very nice way, like everything is syncing, there's synergy between the various colors. So when you want to pick the color for Asoebi, you make sure that you know the color for the day. You work with the color palettes that are in sync with the color for the day. So no matter how you're varying in the various multiples or in the various categories of the Asoebi selection, you still make sure that there's something linking the colors together, such that when your photography and the cinematography will be done, there'll be a synergy of colored, as in of the strength of the colors, adding great beauty to the event. So which is the main purpose and one of the main strength of Asoebi. So I think we are cool on that. The next thing you're going to think about is, if you're not outsourcing the Asoebi to Asoebi planners, you're going to be thinking of how you're going to, we're talking about planning the whole Asoebi. How will you set the price? What will be your markup price? Are you adding anything? Because once a person purchases that Asoebi, they are entitled to like a gift. That's just the in thing about it. Remember in the previous video, I told you the norm in Yoruba. What Asoebi was formerly called from inception by the Yoruba people is anko. Anko. Anko means uniform. So they will say korankara ko jesemo, which is to mean if you're not part of the celebration by buying the Asoebi meant for that celebration, you just be at the party, the food will be passing by you, and nobody will look at your face. They are not going to serve you at the event. So if you're selling it yourself, you want to think of how will you collect your money, because from the experiences of every one of us that have really been into Asoebi, and you've been into Asoebi, you see that most persons will just say, okay, give me this, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this. They'll just be telling you they want to buy, but they're not going to give you the money. So you have to be very firm at this if you don't want to run at a loss. Or the best approach will be for you to what? To tell them to pre-order. So you could just order a sample or a set of samples, maybe a bundle. Then you say, this is the Asoebi. Maybe you create a WhatsApp platform for that. It's very necessary. Or you could go as far as creating a website for that. That's what Asoebi planners do. And we could do that for you as setro. If you want us to do that for you, just comment in the comment section. So we'll create a website for you, and the Asoebi will be on that website, and anyone that wants to buy, they'll go there and indicate their interest. Or you could create, if you want to do it yourself, you could create a Google sheet such that they will indicate their interest, and you could give the accounts where they will pay into, so that they'll pay and tell you, I want so, I want so. Once they've seen it, such that you're not going to run at a loss. So you will not say I did not tell you, because Asoebi could be so traumatic. People nowadays are emotionally attached to Asoebi. We had an Asoebi for our it's not a story you want to hear. We had an Asoebi for our runway show that we had in 2019 at Setro Fashion, where we had lots of fashion designers come in, and so we had an Asoebi. The Asoebi was a shirt. It was not funny managing that. So it's not funny. So there was a singular mix-up then. That was 2019. What? Can you see how I'm saying? It's not funny at all. So, if you don't want to fall into troubles on that D-Day of your event, I will advise you really hand it over to a trusted person that has real management sense, or you hand it over to Asoebi companies, or you can hand it over to us, such that people will not be crying on your head on that day, and people will not be disturbing you for the Asoebi and what have you. So, you have to just structure the sale of this Asoebi in such a way that you're not going to run out of loss, and in such a way that everyone will actually be catered for. So now, once they've all paid for the Asoebi, I've told you the ways you could do that. Some persons will buy the Asoebi down and now start collecting money from people, and people will start paying. That is that is a don't let me talk about that. That system doesn't work nowadays. So make sure you collect your money. Make sure you have your money in hand before you release the Asoebi. Before you hear the story of this one happened and that one happened, so I couldn't pay, but they would have collected your fabrics. So if you don't want to run into that, or except you want to use it as a charity, you want to have maybe charity distribution on that, that's good. But if not, you really want to do it and do it well, make sure you collect your money before sending the Asoebi to anyone. So now, once you've collected the money and the Asoebi is available, you notify them of where to get their fabrics. And one thing you should do is that you should add the delivery cost to it. It's good for Asoebi, they pay everything at once. It's not that you're going to say this Asoebi is 25,000, delivery is 10,000. Let's say somebody has already paid the 25,000, feeling I already have my Asoebi. You're now saying you are going to pay the rider 10,000. It's so disturbing, because they might not actually have that money at that time you're delivering. So it's good you help them to plan all along. So what do? You just make sure you calculate the delivery cost. Maybe you could just have a margin, and when they are filling the form, they will tell you it's this place. You ask for their delivery address, so, and the delivery time that they will likely be at home or somebody will be there to take it for them. So very, very important. So once this is done, you're good to go. Once you have the money, you get the fabric. So you would have liaised with major fabric dealers, and we also deal in fabrics. You can reach out to us for that. You will liaise with major fabric dealers. I'll get that for you. Then you distribute accordingly, and you make sure that what they paid for is actually what they get. And another thing so key and so important is make sure you're selling the right quality. The fact that it's Ashwebi doesn't mean it's just going to be worn for that day. Make sure that whatever fabric you're choosing, make sure you choose a fabric that is durable, a fabric that is what the price point you are selling it. Don't just feel you are going to sell a fabric whose price point is 10,000, and you're going to call it for 50,000 for Ashwebi, and you feel people will just buy, and they will not, everybody knows the price point of all fabrics, are crying out loud. So please let it really be what you're calling it. The success of Ashwebi planning, it's actually when each of all the people, everyone that paid for Ashwebi has successfully gotten their Ashwebi rightly delivered to them, the right fabric, the right quantity, and at the right time, that they'll be able to meet up with the sewing and every other thing. And if you have designers, some persons may ask you for designers, you give them the designers that you know. But if you're in need of designers, you could go online and you could still reach out to us at Setro. That's what we do as well. So after going through all this planning of Ashwebi, is it something that is really interesting to you? So for your next occasion or your next event, is it a birthday party or your wedding? Are you going to Ashwebi or not? So let me hear from you in the comment section below. Don't forget, we still recruit tailors and other candidates for various fashion brands and companies. You can reach out to us on the numbers showing below, and you could also reach out to us for your fashion business mentorship. So till I come your way next time, I remain Joket Tulu and Setro. Catch you, love you, bye bye.